Hey everybody, Spot of Nerd here. Today, we are actually going to talk about something a little bit serious. In fact, serious enough to where it's not easy. It's hard. This will be the third series in our New Dimensions series of the series. I think it's actually good to talk about, is that S word, suicide. No matter how you put it, no matter what it is you're thinking, no matter what's going on in life, suicide is a horrible, terrible thing. Most of us hopefully never have to experience it, but it does occur. I think it's important to talk about because I think a lot of it comes down to we don't talk enough about mental illness. Now, some of what I'm going to talk about, you might not agree with. Some of it might actually make sense to you. Some of it you probably might not even care about. But what I want to get out specifically in this video is essentially letting people know that it's okay to talk about. And I think that's where I almost get bitter and angry, is because so much of online now with social media and wherever it is in the world, you know, we talk so much about how we need to be open about it, mental illness, and we need to talk about it, and yada yada yada. And people a lot of the time think that when they just post a phone number or whatever it is like, oh well, I did something, at least I'm done something now and everything's great. And I would challenge you, and I say that, and again, in a respectful way. I'm not saying posting the suicide hotline is bad or telling somebody like, hey, I'm worried about you, things like that. I think we need to do a little bit more in terms of helping people that might have these thoughts or might be going through something pretty horrible. It's a very challenging world out there right now. Let's be real about it. It's not trying to be negative. It's not trying to be pessimistic. It's incredibly challenging. When you're going through something as horrible as, you know, potentially suicidal thoughts, or maybe you've had somebody that you've known in the past that has attempted it. The biggest thing I would challenge you is reach out. These people need help. These people need somebody to give a rat's fuck. I don't need to go off on statistics or what happens, blah, 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 blah. You can do that on your own time. But what it comes down to, I think, too, and again, a lot of the reason why I'm doing these videos, you know, with the depression and the mental illness and doctors and blah, 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 is I can speak on behalf of myself. You know, a lot of the time we're afraid to do it. You know, we're afraid to ask for help. We're afraid to reach out. A lot of the time because of consequences. You know, if you go up to somebody and you say, I'm having suicidal thoughts, I mean, let's be real. They will probably potentially want to put you in a, you know, psychiatric ward or something like that. And sometimes people just they just want to be heard. So when the topic of suicide comes up, I hope that people out there listening to this or have experienced it, I hope that you just listen. And I hope that you support those that may be in, frankly, a worse situation than you are. We all have different situations going on in our life, and we all deal with it in different ways as well. No, there is no such thing as a right or wrong way. I mean, unless you murder people, but that's a different, we don't need to literally digest everything I'm saying right now. My point is that suicide is something that is not to be fucked around with. This is a very serious topic. You gotta reach out to your people. I personally could probably do a better job myself. There's some people in my life that I do worry about, and I could just simply drop a text to say, you know, hey, how are things going? How are things doing? At the same time, there's people in my own life that they could do the same thing. You know, we've all been down. We've all had those mindsets where it's like, there's nothing else. If you feel like that, and if you feel like something is going on, as hard as it might be, give that love. Especially with today and everything going on, it does not matter left, right, middle, side, up, down, bottom, left, blah, blah, blah. What I would love for us to get back as human beings is just giving a fuck about each other, especially with things going on right now. Suicide rates are up, alcoholism to depression to everything in between. This is not how it should be. And I know that's cliche to say because it happens all the time. It happens everywhere. But we can do better. And I think that's where you gotta look in the mirror, and hopefully maybe that's where you get this positive message. Again, I don't want to sound negative when I'm doing these videos, but the positive message I'm hopefully trying to get out to you is you would not believe what a simple text message or what a simple phone call will do for somebody that's going through a very rough time to the point where they think that taking their own life is the better option. You can save somebody. And I know, again, it's gonna sound cliche and it's gonna sound like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Some of you don't have chronic pain. Some of you don't go through depression. Some of you are living your life to the best that you possibly can. But you have to remember that there are those around you, and I guarantee you there are friends that you know, there are family that you know that are going through tough times that you don't have a clue about. And that's where I want you to pick up on is, you know, I'm just as guilty. I'll put on a front. Like, everything's great, everything's fine, you know, you'll tell jokes, you'll do this, you'll do that. And it's like, deep down, you are hurting. I personally, back in the day, I've had my issues related to suicide and things like that. And I've unfortunately experienced it through friends. It's just terrible. There's no other, there's a million horrible words you can say revolving around it. Something I've learned over the years, even through my own depression, through my own, especially now with my chronic illnesses and my mental state, things like that. You obviously, I'm in charge of me, so you're obviously in charge of you. Having a support system is very important, you know, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member. But I think a lot of us now, we tend to lose track of that. And that's what I hope I'm getting across in these videos is, don't lose track of those people. Don't lose track of your friends or family that are going through tough times. They might not be, but check up on them. It really is not that hard to do. Once a week, once a couple, you know, once a day, like, hey, how's your day going? Help them. Help your fellow man. It's not hard to do, especially when I can tell you from personal experience. I'm not saying this is for everybody. Everybody goes through their own thing and deals it in their own different way. I can tell you from personal experience though, having somebody check up on you is literally life-changing. With that being said, I won't dive too much more into the topic, but I did want to obviously get this out to kind of open the discussion, and I hope maybe you will. Throw me a comment down in the comment section. Tell me something that maybe you've gone through and you maybe just want to share that kind of gave you a little bit more inspiration. Tell me a situation maybe where you've saved somebody. Be proud of it. That's what I say, don't hesitate to not be proud of these situations. If you've changed somebody's life for the better because they were in such a hole that they didn't think that there was anything else to get out of this hole, use that. Tell the story. Make it known, because I think, again, like I've said in the beginning of this video, silence is not going to do shit. It's bullshit about the fact that, you know, that if you just ignore it, it'll go away. It's not going away. It's getting worse. So be the better person. Be the better humans that we really can be. It's not hard. Call your friend. Call your family. Check up on them. Just make sure that they are okay. Make sure that you're okay. But if you're doing good, I promise you, not everybody else is. The more you can actually check in and see how they are, trust me, the better off you and they will be. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below. Again, I know these are sometimes not the greatest subjects to talk about, but I want to make sure they are spoken, and I want to make sure we do talk about it, because it doesn't have to be something we fear, and it doesn't have to be something that we're gonna regret or fear of consequences and yada yada yada. I want it to be something that we really take, and we take a look in the mirror sometimes and go, what can I do better? How can I be somebody else's shoulder? How can I be somebody else's backbone right now? And we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all. One last little tidbit as like a little end credit scene here. I do want to point out too, you know, there's a lot of things that we do. There's Suicide Prevention Month, which is September. Let's make it every day. Let's not just make this 1 month and then we forget about it. I mean, that could go for any topic. Don't get me wrong. Don't twist that into a different way, but be that person that they can rely on.